Story 1. The Storm Drain. It was a cold January evening in 2016. My friends and I lived next to a nature preserve, a place we'd explored countless times. But this weekend, we craved something different, something daring. The storm drain that fed into the creek had always intrigued us, its barred entrance like a locked door to the unknown. Mischief took hold, and we decided to investigate. We threw rocks into the drain, hoping to gauge its depth by the sound of the impact. But instead of the expected splash, we were met with a bone-chilling thump, an unnatural sound that echoed back from the dark depths. Dusk was creeping in, so we called it a day, our nerves tingling with unease. The following weekend, armed with courage and more friends, we returned. This time, we were determined to enter. We unbolted the barricade and ventured inside. The drain stretched about 20 feet before ending abruptly, but a narrow offshoot to the left beckoned us deeper. The air was thick with dampness and the scent of decay. As we crept forward, the walls closed in, forcing us to hunch over. The further we went, the more oppressive the atmosphere became. Then it happened. A deep, resonant thump, identical to the one we heard before. The sound came from ahead, yet none of us had moved. Panic set in. We had no signal, and the darkness seemed to press in around us. My friend began recording, desperate to capture any evidence of what was happening. We hurried back, our breaths echoing in the confined space. We made it out without further incident, but when I reviewed the footage later, my blood ran cold. In the corner of the video, at a bend in the drain, something, or someone, was watching us. A head, misshapen with glowing eyes and pointed ears, peered around the corner. It wasn't any of us. We had all been together. To this day, that storm drain remains untouched, its secrets buried in the darkness. Story 2. The Haunted Warehouse. In our small town of Laredo, Texas, stories of haunted places abound, but none are as infamous as the abandoned warehouses on the outskirts. The myths tell of immigrant workers who perished under harsh conditions, their deaths ignored due to their illegal status. The local news had once covered these tragedies, but the stories had faded into whispers until we decided to investigate. We ventured out one afternoon, the sun high in the sky, determined to explore the warehouses and uncover the truth. The first thing we noticed were the remnants of strange rituals. A chicken's foot, pentagram scrawled in black marker. It seemed like someone had tried to reach out to the spirits that supposedly lingered here. But it wasn't until nightfall that the true horror began. As we crept through the darkened halls, the feeling of being watched became overwhelming. The air was thick with tension, and every sound echoed unnervingly through the empty space. Shadows moved in the corners of our vision, and a sinister laugh reverberated through the warehouse. An unnatural sound that sent us running. But the nightmare didn't end there. The next day, we returned, only to find that the signs of the rituals had vanished. The pentagrams, the chicken's foot, gone, as if they had never been. And yet, the sense of dread lingered. We weren't alone in that warehouse. Something was there with us, something dark and dangerous. Even now, the memory of that night haunts me, a reminder that some places are better left undisturbed. Story 3. The Possessed Girl. It was supposed to be a typical college night at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. A few friends, a party, and a late-night hangout at the dorm. But that night, something went terribly wrong. One of the girls, a friendly, albeit drunk, acquaintance, began acting strangely. At first, it was just her eyes rolling back into her head, her body trembling. But then she began growling, an animalistic sound that sent shivers down my spine. Blood poured from her nose, and she lunged at my friends with unnatural strength, biting and clawing like a feral beast. 3 strong men tried to restrain her, but she fought them off with ease, screaming profanities and blasphemies that seemed impossible for her to know. The RA, a devout Christian, rushed over to pray, but her screams only intensified. F God, F Jesus, "The devil is coming for you all," she shrieked, her voice twisted and otherworldly. I recorded a short video, hoping to capture what was happening, but nothing could truly convey the terror of that moment. The paramedics arrived, strapping her down as she thrashed and screamed. "They're coming for you all," she cried out. "They're coming for you next." The next day, she awoke with no memory of the night before. But something had changed. She was no longer the cheerful girl we had known. Darkness had taken root in her, a darkness that could not be explained away. The video I captured is a chilling reminder of the forces that can take hold of a person, forces we are powerless to fight. Conclusion. These stories serve as a haunting reminder that the supernatural is not as far away as we might think. Sometimes, it's just beneath the surface, waiting for the right moment to reveal itself. So, the next time you feel a chill run down your spine, or hear a noise that shouldn't be there, remember these tales, and wonder what might be lurking in the shadows.